Today we're going to learn how to add and subtract decimals. Adding and subtracting decimals is quite easy if you can just remember the buttons on a shirt. I always like to say when you add and subtract decimals, you want to line your decimal points up just as you see buttons lined up on a shirt. For example, let's take 3 and 3/10, and I'm going to add 2. Keep in mind that 2 is a whole number, and of course all whole numbers have a decimal point directly behind them. So I'm going to go ahead and place a decimal point there, and I have that empty space there that I want to fill in, so of course I can always fill that in with 0. 3 plus 0 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. And let's not forget my decimal point in there. My sum is 5 3/10. As you can see, my decimal points are lined up just as buttons are on a shirt. Now let's do some subtracting. Same rule. We want to line our decimal points up just as buttons on a shirt. This time I think I will use 5 6/10, and I'm going to go ahead and subtract. Let's make it 1 35/100. Notice that my decimal points are lined up, and also once again I have that blank empty space there, so let's go ahead and fill that in with a 0. I can't take 5 from 0, so let's do some regrouping. I'm going to go over and I'm going to take 1 from that 6, making it a 5. Now I have 10 minus 5, which equals 5. 5 minus 3, which equals 2. And 5 minus 1, which equals 4. And don't forget my decimal point. Once again, lining those decimal points up. 5 6/10 minus 1 35/100 equals 4 25/100. This concludes our lesson on adding and subtracting decimals. Just remember, we line our decimal points up just like buttons on a shirt.
Conversation. I think you can just say they should continue the cafe. Okay, sorry. I was unfamiliar with the usage of the word, but yeah, just continue with the cafe, I guess.